All right, so the last thing that we saw was Warrior of the Mind, Athena chastising Odysseus for allowing Polites' ideas of um, thinking with your heart, letting your feelings guide you, looking for the bright side in things, being an optimist. And she goes, "No, no, no, no. That'll get you killed. You're I trained you to be an intelligent, wise leader. Do not follow this asinine advice. Think with your head, not with your heart. Make the right decisions. It'll save your life." This, I think I know where this is leading up to. But the next arc is the Cyclops saga. Are you truly fine, Odysseus? Okay, so yeah, they're leaving the island of the ooh, already ominous. That deep red. Yep.
Over here. Look at all this food. Look at all these sheep. I can't believe this cave has all this for us to keep.
It's not for you.
I've gotta hand it to you both. This is quite the treat.
Eurylochus's voice is really good too.
There are enough sheep here to feed the entire fleet.
There's a resonance to the voice.
It's almost too perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
To be true. Why would the Lotus Eaters pass up on all this food?
Oh, oh, that design. Oh, that's freaky. That's a really freaky design for hey there. That's a really freaky design for the Cyclops.
We're just travelers.
And that's big. That's a big Cyclops.
You killed my sheep. My favorite sheep.
Shouldn't have did that.
What gives you the right to deal the pain so deep?
Oh, I love the voice for this thing.
You know that pain you sow is pain you reap. Time to drink your blood over where you stand. Your life now is in my hand. Before I'm done, you will learn that it's not so fun to take. You came to my home to steal, but now you become my meal. A trade you see, take from you like you took from me.
Ooh. Oh, I like that. That's really good. Here we are. Here we go.
Wine?
Have a drink, one sip, and you'll understand the power that's in your hands. Wine so fresh, you'd never want to eat human flesh again. Then we shall be on our way. No bloodshed in here today. A trade you see, gift from you and a gift from me.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot to cover. I just first of all, that little staccato in both Polyphemus and Odysseus's voice, um, in that particular moment and before, I'll go back and I'll show you guys what I mean. But is really, I love the quality of all of these singers' voices. Now, obviously, Polyphemus's voice has been auto tuned and pitch shifted to be this really deep voice. I can't even get anywhere near that. Um, but I love that. Odysseus immediately coming up with a strategy, coming up with a plan. A few slight changes. So they go into the cave of the Cyclops, and they don't kill any sheep at the beginning. They wait for the owner of the sheep to arrive, because when they go into the cave, it's very obviously a person's home. It's filled with possessions. It's not just sheep in a cave. It's a whole it's got like clothing, and it's got like tools and stuff scattered around. Like, it's very obviously a person's home. The Cyclops, by the way, is meant to be a lot more humanoid. This thing is heinous, but I love it. I really like this design. It gives you this idea that this is an otherworldly thing, which makes a lot of sense if you know who Polyphemus is and who his dad is. But Polyphemus comes into the cave, and before Odysseus really gets to do much of anything, Polyphemus kills two of his men and eats them. Now, this violates this core aspect of the story of the Cyclops is this idea of guest rights. So, in the ancient world, all across the Middle East and Southern Europe, there was this belief that when a stranger came into your home, you had to take care of them. You had to protect them. You had to provide for them. This was the expectation. If you violated guest rights, if you hurt somebody while they were under your protection, under your home, under your roof, this would royally piss off the gods. Now, Odysseus, it could be stated, especially in this version, violated guest rights first by slaying one of the sheep. In the Odyssey, Odysseus is the one telling the story, and he says, "We did nothing. He just came in and attacked us." How true that is, again, this is all being told in flashback, I don't know. But if this is what really happened, and Odysseus is fibbing a little bit, it makes perfect sense that Polyphemus would react this way. Imagine if someone broke into your home while you were away and just shot your dog. Your first reaction would probably be, "I'ma kill him! I'ma kill him!" That'd be a justifiable reaction. But again, Odysseus very quick with the coming up with a solution. But I want to hear. Take from you like you took from me. That me. With this staccato to the voice, and then I do love this effect. I don't know if this is true for all of the animatics, but the with each beat, with each flash, it cuts to zooming in and zooming out to show the perspective of the people that are being affected. You see Odysseus zoomed into the eye of the Cyclops, and then you see that he's sort of including all of his men in the mistake. There's been a misunderstanding, so you see. Take from you like you took from me.
There's been a
Misunderstanding.
We never came here to steal, but now that I see
Hold on, let's see if I can do it.
we never came here to steal, but now that I see we've done some damage,
Maybe you and I can make a deal. Give you our finest treasure. So okay, so what they get is in the original myth, it is not that tiny little thing. It's barrels. Barrels of concentrated uncut Greek wine. So most of you guys nowadays, probably growing up in America or in the UK, Canada maybe, wine to you guys is maybe a lady's drink or a drink for a special occasion. It's not very strong, it's sophisticated, it's soft, it's smooth, maybe a little sweet, maybe a little dry. You pair it with a food. It's not really going to get you drunk unless you drink a lot of it, right? Not in antiquity. Not in antiquity. Wine was concentrated like an espresso shot for coffee. It was incredibly strong. You had to dilute it in water or cut the wine in order to make it drinkable. Like if you wanted to keep your liver, you couldn't just drink it straight. And he didn't give Polyphemus a little canteen of it. He gave him barrels of it. By this point, 2 of his men are already dead. I think he ends up eating 6 total. I could be wrong. It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure it was 6 men that he ends up eating. But this little bit, I love. So let me push it back.
here to steal, but now that
Then I see we've done some damage. Maybe you and I can make a deal. See? give you a finest treasure.
So long as
As
we
you
live
live
alive,
alive, you can keep the world's best tasting wine. I love that little narrowing his eyes.
Have a drink, one sip and you'll understand the power that's in
Again,
your
Polyphemus is humanoid, so alcohol affects him the way it would affect anybody.
wanna eat human flesh
Again, then we shall be on our way. No bloodshed any. Oh, the sheep is already dead.
a trade
You see, take from you and a gift from me. So he does the same thing Polyphemus does. Here today, trade you see, gift from you and a gift from me. I love that. That little staccato to the voice.
I'd like to thank you. Stranger, what's your name?
Claws.
My name is Nobody.
Yes.
Nobody.
Oh, that little snake grin.
Nobody.
Oh, that's clever. Okay, so the little creature is on Odysseus's head. It makes it look like he has little horns. Odysseus is this wily trickster. He isn't a good person, especially not by Greek standards. The Greeks believed that you had to, if you were a real man, you dealt with your problems up front, head, you know, head first, deal with the issues like a man. Odysseus was like a viper. He would come up with tricky solutions, look for an angle that he can use to his benefit. Oftentimes, leveraging information and knowledge that he had to the exclusion of others for his benefit. So I love that, and the way he says, I could never hit that high note. By the way, I'm not even gonna try. I'll sometimes sing along if I've heard the riff before, and if I'm reading the subtitles as I go. But that the way he hit that nobody at the end, that was so good. And yes, he does say that he's nobody. There's a reason for that.
Body, for your gift I've won to reply.
I'm so glad we see.
That's cheesy.
Yes, you shall be the final man to die.
Yep.
Watch out!
I guess we're jumping straight into Polyphemus. Polyphemus. Polyphemus, I think, translates to many hymns, because he is technically a demigod. He is, I won't spoil. But they actually should already know.
My brothers, the rest
I love this art style. This is maybe my favorite art style so far.
and if we're defeated, their good is dead. Straight ahead, that is who we're
Ooh,
fighting.
that's so good.
No back
Ooh, that god chant. Like that divine choir. It makes sense.
must be thwarted right here.
But it feels like boss music in a video game.
It is your will to survive. 600 lives at stake.
Yeah, so
Just one
oh,
life to take.
that's
When we kill him, then our journey's over. No dying on
I shouldn't laugh.
now. Defeat is not allowed. We must
Ooh, that mouth.
stay, so fight, fight, fight.
The art itself is so clever.
Surround him. Attack from behind. Keep distance in mind and stay in his blind spot and strike his heels. Strike the heels. Show him that we're deadly.
I love the real-time strategizing.
Don't let him get
Very Athena.
He's strong but he's slow. He can't land a blow if we're out of reach. Find a breach. Stand up and fight for your life.
I'm using the swords as like picks for rock climbing. Ooh, that's a cool shot. Okay, Levi. Okay. They are. Oh, they're not making this part subtle. Flashing back to There it is. Yep. Polides, with his back turned.
Enough.
He's got a club. He's got a club!
Ooh.
What are our orders? Captain! Captain!
You've heard me enough. 600 lives I'll take. 600 lives I'll break. And when I kill you, then my fate is over. You're dying here
That voice.
now. Escape is not allowed. You won't live through this.
Turn them into puddles. And the wine kicked in. Okay, so there's a lot. Okay, so in the book, Polides does not survive. Obviously, I don't actually remember what kills him. I'm gonna be honest. So if anybody in the comments remembers the actual event, I'm not sure if it was the Cyclops or if it was after, but it was early on. It was relatively early on. He does not make it far into their journey home. I do love this art style. I love the voice. All of them. I couldn't help but laugh at the line. It's just one life to take, and when we kill him, then our journey's over. I'm like, okay, so it's not just one life. Excuse me. And this one single event is going to come back to haunt them quite a lot. Now, so far, Odysseus has sort of avoided anything by. He was clever. He said his name was Nobody. This. I don't want to say what's gonna happen because I've read the story, but our smartest boy does some really stupid shit. I don't know how else to put it. Odysseus might be the cleverest of all the Greeks, but sometimes he does some monumentally stupid things. And what will happen probably within one or two songs, judging off by the pace, probably by the next song, is monumentally stupid. Hubris. Hubris is the word here. He is so cocky that he ends up putting both feet and basically his entire torso in his mouth. So, yes, Polites unfortunately is dead. Okay. The Cyclops has passed out from getting drunk, and I think they killed more than 6 there. It should have been 6, but it looks like he flattened a lot of them. So in the story, in the myth, he eats them. He doesn't just flatten them. He crushes them and eats them. Pops them like a cashew. If you guys have seen Attack on Titan, imagine Aaron's mom. That's what's happening. Okay? So I'm part of me's pleased that they censored that just because do you really want to see his men get eaten? Anyway. Polyphemus is downed. And art style changed. Got it.
We must move quickly. We don't have much time. He didn't notice I mixed Lotus in.
Okay, so no, that's not why. He didn't mix Lotus in the wine. They never took any Lotus with them. Again, it's a narcotic. If he had left it on the boat, the men who had already had some would be tempted to have more of it. No. The reason is because it's undiluted Greek wine, concentrated. This stuff, a small amount of this, like the size that he gave him in the musical here, like a little bag, would have been enough to knock out a normal man easily. In the myth, he gives him a fucking barrel of it. So yeah, he got drunk and he passed out.
In his wine. Mark
So that
my
is
words
a
now.
clever workaround.
This is not the end.
But Captain, what do we do with our fallen friends?
Remember them when the fire begins to fade. For the fallen and afraid, we are not to let them die in vain. Remember them, we're the ones who carry on the flames of those who've gone, and our comrades will not die in vain. I need all our hands on this club.
Here we go.
This is how we're getting out of here. Use your swords to sharpen a stub and turn it to a giant spear. Let's kill him. His body is blocking the path. If we kill him, we'll be stuck inside.
Okay, so slight changes, little things, and I'm gonna be a little nitpicky, because I'm gonna say this right now. I haven't seen the Nolan movie because it hasn't come out yet, but as of the time of this recording. But that said, already infinitely better than the Nolan movie's gonna be for me. Right now, if you want just a fun story and you want to be able to turn your brain off and just an action adventure, and you don't care about any kind of like literary or historical accuracy of any kind, screw it, whatever, enjoy it. Not for me. I happen to care if it's at least a little bit respectful to the material. That's it. Because it's so much better already, and I'm really enjoying this, I am going to be a little bit more nitpicky. Okay? Because otherwise, I would just start tearing. If I wanted to tear into a piece of garbage, I would just go into the Nolan film, or even the 2004 Troy movie for its inaccuracies to the story. But I won't. Here, it isn't that the Cyclops passed out in front of the opening and that was blocking their path. The Cyclops had the entrance to his cave barred by a giant round stone that he would roll into place. And think of it sort of like, if you guys, anybody who's Christian maybe knows like the story of the resurrection, where like the tomb has a big round stone that has to be rolled in and out of place. That. Just imagine a really big version of that. And if they kill the Cyclops while the stone is in place, then they'll be trapped. There is no other way out. And all of them together are not strong enough to move the stone. Only the Cyclops is. So they need to figure out a way to get the Cyclops to open up the cave, but also not catch them as they flee. Now, in the myth, the solution that they come up with is that they blind him using his own club sharpened into a spear, and they gouge out his eye. And he flies into a fury, and he's screaming, and the other Cyclopses that live on the island hear him screaming, and they shout to him from outside, "Are you okay? Who's hurting you? Who's wounded you?" And the Cyclops says, "Nobody hurts me. Nobody blinds me. Or nobody has hurt me. Nobody has blinded me." Because he thinks that's the name. And so the other Cyclopses think, "Oh, okay, Polyphemus is drunk. Leave him alone. Don't bother with him." That's Odysseus being smart. So Polyphemus rolls a stone out of the way, and he's going to let the sheep out to pasture. And Odysseus and his men tie themselves underneath the sheep. Since the Cyclops is blind, it runs its hands over the fleeces of the sheep, over the backs of the sheep, to know that the men aren't escaping, right? So he's working off of just tactile. And because the men are underneath the sheep, they're safe, and they gather up as many sheep as they can, and they rush to the boats. And then Odysseus makes a stupid move, which we, based off of this, will happen in the song. So I'll point it out when we get there. But that's how it goes in the myth. It isn't because he's passed out in front of the cave. It's because he bars the cave with a giant stone.
Captain, where do we attack him? We gotta stab him in the eye. Yes, sir. Remember them.
I do love the delivery for some of these lines.
For the fallen and afraid, we are not to let them die in vain. Remember them. We're the ones who carry on the flames of those who've gone, and our comrades.
Oh, he takes the headband.
No!
Okay, so this is a more lore accurate Cyclops. Not gonna lie, the other look was really cool, but this is more. There it is.
There are more of them? Hide. Captain, we should run. Wait. Captain, please. Wait.
Oh, that looks he looks pitiable. Oh, that's sad. Like I shouldn't feel bad for the Cyclops, but
Sheep and away we go.
Have you forgotten the lessons I taught you? He's still a threat until he's dead. Finish it.
No. No? What good would killing do when mercy is a skill more of this world could learn to use? My friend is dead, our foe is blind. The blood we shed, it never dries. Is this what it means to be a warrior of the mind?
okay. No. No. Odysseus does not spare the Cyclops out of pity or a desire to minimize bloodshed. He isn't doing it out of mercy or kindness. He's doing it out of spite. He's doing it out of revenge. So in Greek mythology, in Greek antiquity, in Greek culture, for a warrior to leave another warrior maimed and crippled was the greatest shame, an insult, that you're not even worthy of a warrior's death. I'm going to leave you an abomination. I'm going to leave you a cripple, dependent on others. I'm going to make you an embarrassment. A warrior's whole thing is that they're a fighter. Polyphemus deserved an honorable death. That's kind of the point. Yeah, they were on opposite sides, but there's a code between fighters. And Odysseus is spitting on that. He's specifically doing it as an insult. I get it. I said in the previous video whenever they were doing Open Arms, I think I know where they're going with it. I think they're trying to make that dichotomy between Eurylochus and Polites, and like tugging Odysseus in two different directions on how he should behave, which is its own clever, especially modern take on the myth. It isn't accurate to the myth, but I'm willing to play with this idea. I just want to make it clear, if you're asking, is this accurate to the myth? No. No, Odysseus does this purely out of cruelty. It isn't mercy sparing the Cyclops, leaving him blind. It's an insult. It's a calculated choice to insult him. So just want to make that clear. I'll go back a little bit. But he is saying, like, in this moment, he is probably in shock. He's lost several of his men, including his best friend. He is questioning Athena's logic in, like, do I need to kill him? Like, he's blind. He's no longer a threat. Yes, he is. 100% yes, he is. But I don't need to kill him. I've done the deed. He's incapacitated. We can leave now.
To use. My friend is dead, our foe is blind. The blood we shed, it never dries. Is this what it means to be a warrior of the mind? Don't! Hey, Cyclops!
And here it is.
We met, I led with peace, while you fed your inner beast. But my comrades will not die in vain. Remember them. The next time that you dare, choose not to spare. Remember them. Remember us. Remember me.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right here. That image of Odysseus is cold. Like, that is a good picture for Odysseus. That stone, icy cold stare, the sword pointing out, that looks really hype. I love that. And here's where he makes the biggest mistake of the entire book.
I'm the reigning king of Ithaca.
Oh, and he says the name of the place. Why are you doxing yourself? You're giving out your address. You're letting them know where to find you. Why?
I am neither man nor mythical. I am your darkest moment.
Oh, I get it. Darkest moment. You made him blind. Haha. Very funny. I am neither man nor mythical. Is that... I don't know if that's meant to... Should I take that as hubris? Should I take that as him saying, like, I'm more than a man, but I'm still alive, so I'm not a myth? Is that him, like, saying he's superhuman? I don't know how I'm supposed to take that line.
I am the infamous Odysseus.
Dumbest decision. Dumbest. And that grin. That grin. Okay, so yes, he doxes himself to Polyphemus, tells him that he is not nobody, he is Odysseus. In the myth, it's an even bigger screw up, because at least here, Polyphemus hasn't mentioned it. Who his dad is. Polyphemus is not well liked by the other Cyclopses because he makes such a big deal about the fact, bragging about the fact that he is, in fact, a demigod. He is the son of Poseidon. He doesn't shut up about it to Odysseus either. Odysseus knows who his dad is. And he still does this. And he still doxes himself. If he had killed him, if he had told him who he was and then killed him right after, get the brag in, and then it would have been one thing. But he spares him, he blinds him and then spares him. And then tells him his name. Every time that I get to that part in the story, I'm like, really? You're the smartest of all of the Greeks? It just means all the other Greeks are idiots. Doesn't mean that you're particularly smart. Alright, so. Oh, Athena's music. That little piano and the clock thing with that. Ooh, that piano. Yep. Oh, that's sentimental.
Teaching the mind, you've grown soft. Your dead friends can attest.
Hey.
Yep.
Put your emotions aside. You're a warrior, meant to lead the rest. I don't know where I went wrong, but I
that little growl.
and you failed the test. So now I'm gone. This way, you'll know what your place is. This way, you can't cross the line. This way, when all is over, you'll keep yours and I'll keep mine. This way, you won't disappoint me. This way, you won't waste my time.
Damn,
This
she
way,
is
I'll close the door. Consider this is my goodbye.
throwing the book at him.
Just like you, why should I be surprised?
No. What?
Selfish and prideful and vain.
No, no, you would never do this. You would never do this. I get it. I get it. It's hard for us in the modern day to imagine how, because we live in a very secular age. Even the most religious people are not as religious as the people back then. And it's hard for us to imagine that people really believed these things, but they did. I want to make that really, really clear. They, to, to Odysseus, this isn't a goddess in the same way that, like, you might think about Thor or Odin or Freya. It isn't like some far away. This is his god. Specifically, this is his particular patron deity. Gods in Greek mythology, in most religions, actually, in antiquity, kill for way less than what he just said. Athena herself turns Arachne into a spider because she outweaved her. Dionysus, and Dionysus, Apollo gives Midas the ears of an ass because he chose, was it Pan, as a better musician? No, you would never say this. You would never say this to a god. It would never even cross Odysseus's mind to think about he. I'm just gonna chalk it up to grief has blinded him and made him go temporarily insane. It's the only thing that makes sense here. You would never say this. Now, is he right? Yes, 100%. Athena is very prideful, very vain. So are all of the gods. Like, you want a vain god? Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite. Those three goddesses, because of their vanity, triggered this whole war. If you don't know, when oh my god, what is it? When there's this big party, there's this big wedding that's happening in Olympus, and all of the gods are invited except for Eris. Eris is the goddess of discord and chaos. I wonder why she wasn't invited. So, she crashes the party anyway with an apple of the Hesperides with the phrase "to the fairest" written on the apple, and throws it in between Athena, Aphrodite, and Hera, and skedaddles. And guess what? The three goddesses start fighting over who deserves the apple. Fairest here meaning the most beautiful. So Zeus is asked, will you decide between us? Will you vote? And he goes, oh, hell no. And he outsources it to a human. You're not fighting over this on Olympus. So he picks a young shepherd boy who happens to also be Paris, the child of Priam, the king of Troy. And all three goddesses try to bribe Paris into voting for them, offering him different things based on their spheres of influence. And Aphrodite offers him the hand of the most beautiful woman in the world. Trouble is, the most beautiful woman in the world is already married. Yeah, she's already married to Menelaus. That would be Helen, Sparta. So, in a very real sense, it is the pride and spite and vanity of those three goddesses that act as the original trigger for the war. Now, are the gods petty and vengeful and vindictive in Greek mythology? For the most part, yes. Would an ancient Greek have ever dreamed of saying what Odysseus just said? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In the same way that you might, if you're a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim, if you have read the Old Testament, parts of the New Testament, or the Quran, you might take issue with the Old Testament God and some of the things that he does and commands. You know, the condoning slavery and rape and ethnic cleansing of an entire people group. All of those things might bristle, but you would, if he showed up in front of you, you would never even think about saying what you're doing is evil, what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is bad. There is no way, absolutely no way Odysseus would say this, especially to his patron goddess. All right, tirade over. I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is. I love Athena's voice, so this is going to be fun for me anyway. But if they're going to start roasting each other, oh boy.
Unlike you, every time someone dies, I'm left to deal with the strain. What's a title that he got his Glenn? If I'll never sleep at night, I'll remind you I saw you as a friend.
Again, friend, if that's true, you're an idiot. The gods have favorites. They have people that they see potential in, right? Or that fulfill their purposes, or maybe they're fond of because they're closely related. You know, like Zeus would sometimes show favoritism to his children, his demigod children. But a friend, she's a mentor. She's training him. She's advising him. Friend.
But now we're done this way.
Okay, so this is like the breakup song. Okay.
You won't plague my life this way. When all is done, you're out of sight and out of mind. This way, you get what you wanted. This way, you can save your time. This way, you close the door and have your damn goodbye.
You're not looking for a mentor. I'm
Thank
not
you.
looking for a friend.
Thank you.
I mistook you for a general. What a waste of effort spent.
At least I know what I'm fighting for while you're fighting to be known. Since you claim you're so much wiser, why's your life spent all alone? You're alone!
Okay, so first of all, oof. I'm not sure exactly what he means by you're fighting to be known. I think the implication here is that you didn't choose me just because you wanted to mentor me. You chose me because you know that through me you'll gain more fame, right? So a lot of the times the gods will choose champions to fight in their name, and so that their names might resound throughout the world, that they might become more glorious, so they could gain glory through them. That might be the implication there. Now, your life spent all alone. Athena is one of the three virgin goddesses. If I remember correctly, it's Athena, Artemis, and Hestia. And Hestia. They're the only three that have never had sex. And they never married. They don't have any partners, any close bond with anyone. And again, I guess this makes sense because Odysseus's whole thing is he's driven by this need to make it home to his wife. That's his anchor. I don't know if you can really use that as a diss on a goddess who's alone by choice. She has options. She just doesn't want anyone. Okay. I do love that, like that. Like either heated.
One day you'll hear what I'm saying. One day
I love
you
her
might
voice so much.
understand one day, but not today. For after all, you're
Oh, that callback. Oh, okay. First of all, the callback. Love that callback to I'm Just a Man. Polites looks like he's a ghost here, and he's carrying, I think it's baby Astyanax. And if that's the case, this woman must be Penelope with Telemachus. So these are the people that he's lost, either through death or through absence. Or the people that he's guilty about, maybe. And these might be just men that he's killed. Or maybe the men that died in the cave with Polites. Oh, I love that. wisdom.
You sever your own head.
You sever your own head. I am going to take that as a reference to Medusa and the Aegis. So this is another one of those stories where Athena doesn't come out looking all that great, depending on the version of the myth that you're talking about. So her and Poseidon have this rivalry because they were fighting over who would become the patron god of the city of Athens. I don't think it's too much of a surprise based on the name of the city that Athena wins. But they don't get along. So Poseidon ends up raping Medusa, who is a woman that acts as a priestess in the temple of Athena. And he does so in Athena's temple. And Athena, since she can't really do anything to get back at Poseidon, takes out her anger on Medusa, turning her into a gorgon. And then later has Perseus decapitate her, gives him all of the weapons and tools he needs, and make sure that it's clean. And then when he gives her the severed head of Medusa, she puts it onto her shield, the Aegis, so that every time that anyone looks at her shield, they get petrified. That's one variant of the myth. There are others. Some make her look a little bit better, like she's turns Medusa into that thing to protect her, so that other men don't ever attempt to do that to her again. I feel like that's a more modern interpretation, but I could be wrong. But sever your own head might be a reference to that.
This day you cut the line. This day you lost it all. Consider this as my goodbye. Consider this as my goodbye.
Vocals.
This is my goodbye. Consider this as my goodbye. This is my goodbye.
All right. So that is the end of the Cyclops saga. We'll end it here so I can pick up the next part. I'm trying to keep each section under an hour. I do tend to talk a lot over these, and I'm very sorry about that. I'm trying not to, unless it's something that particularly it needs to be addressed, like here. Athena never actually leaves Odysseus. She doesn't interfere very much in his journey home until the end. But she doesn't abandon him. She doesn't stop watching out for him. She makes sure to keep an eye on him throughout the entirety of his journey. So this might be more of a sort of an angry breakup, which I get. You know, this was a monumentally stupid decision that Odysseus makes in the story, telling Polyphemus his name. Athena would not approve of something like that. Again, wisdom, battle strategy, not a good call. I do love all of these voices so far, and the art in all of these has been very, very good. If I had to pick a favorite art style so far, I would probably pick, what is this person's name? Mertzi? Is that meant to? This is a long S, so Mirtzi? I don't know. If I'm mispronouncing your name, I'm sorry. This one's art style is maybe my favorite. As far as the fluidity of animation, I like the first one. Like the first person. Let me see. Do we get the name of this person? Do we not? this person, whoever does this art, I like the actual animation itself and a lot of like the artistic choices. But I would say the same thing about this person. Like there's a lot of really clever ideas. Let me see if I can find. Oh, no, where is it?
They wait at the beach, and if we're defeated, they're good as dead. Straight ahead.
Like that's a really cool shot. That cinematographically, oh my god, that's a word. The cinematography in this is really good. Again, animation is one of those things that really lends itself to you being really creative and being having full control. The choices that a lot of these animatic artists are making, I love, I adore. That like a lot of these shots are just so good. So, and I do love that Athena is so much taller than him. It just towers over him. Again, Odysseus is not meant to be a super tall person, but he is standing next to a goddess, and she is so much taller. Like a full head, shoulders, and chest taller than him. So, all right, so we pick up at Storm. We pick up here. So I will stop it here. The next saga is called the Ocean Saga. So that covers the next 4. Next 4 songs. So I'll try to keep that one a bit shorter. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. Any feedback you might have, anything that I'm wrong about, please correct me. I have no problem with being wrong about something. All it means is if I've been corrected, I stop being wrong. So please, any feedback is appreciated, and I will see you guys shortly. Bye.